A city hospital in Mumbai implements an AI system to prioritize emergency room patients. But the system begins ignoring elderly patients because its optimization goal is purely based on shortest predicted recovery time. That is the perfect example of a powerful tool lacking a soul, or more accurately, lacking a governance framework. Responsible AI is technically defined as the practice of designing, developing, and deploying AI systems in a way that aligns with human values, ethics, and fundamental rights. In simple terms, it just means making sure our machines don't lose their moral compass while they work. We aren't just building code, we are building systems that impact human lives. And that requires us to ask not just can we build it, but should we build it? Responsible AI is the safety net that prevents our technical efficiency from trampling over our human dignity. You have probably seen this at the office, where someone pushes a shiny new algorithm that saves 3 hours of work but unintentionally creates a massive headache for the legal department because it didn't respect privacy. By integrating human values into the development phase, we ensure the system works for us, not against us. So, now that we have mastered the core concept of keeping AI aligned with human values, you might be wondering how that actually functions when we have to prove it to others. Well, that brings us right into our next step, which is the concept of accountability. Consider a busy stock brokerage firm in Mumbai, where an AI trading bot suddenly makes a massive unauthorized trade that wipes out a client's portfolio. When the client calls to complain, the manager points to the IT team. The IT team points to the data scientists, and the data scientists point to the software vendor. Everyone is pointing fingers because no one owned the decision. Accountability, in the language of ISO 42001, means having a clear, documented chain of command where individuals or roles are specifically responsible for the outcomes of the AI system. Put simply, it means someone must be the captain of the ship who takes responsibility for where the bot steers us. If something goes wrong, we need to know exactly who has the authority to pull the emergency brake. It is like having a designated driver. When you are navigating the high-speed road of automation, you need one person in the seat who is responsible for the safety of everyone else in the car. It is not about blame, it is about having a clear point of control. So, now that we've mastered the necessity of having a captain at the helm, you might be wondering how we keep that captain's actions visible to the rest of the crew. Well, that brings us right into our next step, which is transparency. Imagine a high-end fashion retailer in Delhi that uses a secret AI tool to determine the quote lifestyle score of its customers, which then dictates what prices they are shown on the website. If a customer asks why they are paying more than their neighbor and the company replies with, "We don't know, the computer just does that," you have a major failure of transparency. Transparency is defined as a commitment to make information about the AI system's decision-making process available and understandable to stakeholders. In simple words, it means having an explainability feature. You should be able to look at the machine's output and trace the logic back to the source. If the machine denies a loan or changes a price, it needs to be able to tell us why. We aren't talking about revealing proprietary trade secrets, but we are talking about being open enough that a user doesn't feel like they are being tricked by a quote black box they don't understand. Stay with me here. If your users feel they are being treated unfairly by a hidden process, they will leave, and no amount of technical sophistication will win them back. So, now that we've mastered the art of keeping our AI operations in the light, you might be wondering how we prevent that light from revealing deep-seated prejudices. Well, that brings us right into our next step, which is the fairness mandate. A bank in Bangalore uses a credit scoring AI that, unbeknownst to them, has learned to correlate certain postal codes with lower credit worthiness, effectively discriminating against entire neighborhoods that happen to be home to specific ethnic groups. The developers didn't intend to be biased, but their data reflected old social inequalities. Fairness is defined as the mitigation of algorithmic bias to ensure that AI systems do not produce discriminatory outcomes based on protected characteristics like race, gender, or age. Simply put, fairness is about making sure the machine treats everyone as an individual, not as a statistic of their past. We need to actively audit our training data to ensure we aren't just automating history's mistakes. If the data is dirty, the AI will be biased, and as auditors, our job is to look for that dirt before it ever gets into the system. You have probably seen this at the office where a new tool is launched and suddenly a specific group of employees finds their work being flagged more often than others for no clear reason. That is a red flag for a fairness audit. So now that we have mastered how to scrub our systems of bias, you might be wondering how we ensure this technology doesn't just work well today but stays safe tomorrow. Well, that brings us right into our next step, which is AI resilience and reliability. Think about a logistics company in Chennai that uses AI to manage its entire delivery fleet. During a rare massive monsoon flood, the AI is suddenly hit with sensor data that looks completely unlike anything it saw in its sunny day training. It panics, freezes, and sends trucks into dead ends. That is a lack of reliability. ISO 42001 defines reliability as the capability of an AI system to perform its functions consistently and accurately, even in varied and unexpected conditions. In simple terms, it means the system doesn't crash when it hits a curveball. It is like a well-trained pilot who knows how to land the plane even when the radar goes down. We have to design our systems to be resilient, not just for the easy, predictable days, but for the chaotic ones. We need to implement stress tests, fail-safes, and redundancy plans. If the AI doesn't know what to do, it should have the wisdom to hand control back to a human or go into a safe, limp home mode. So now that we've mastered how to keep our machines running through the storm, you might be wondering how to make this entire standard a permanent part of the business fabric. Well, that brings us right into our next step, which is the governance framework. A global e-commerce giant in Kolkata decides they want to be the most responsible AI user in the industry. So they don't just write a policy document and leave it in a drawer. Instead, they integrate AI governance into their hiring, their software development sprints, their legal reviews, and their board meetings. That is a governance framework. It is the formal definition of the structures, processes, and responsibilities that an organization puts in place to ensure its AI is aligned with its values. Essentially, it is the heartbeat of the organization, the way they prove to themselves and the world that they take their duty seriously every single day. It is not a project that you finish, it is a way of operating. By creating this culture, you ensure that responsible AI isn't just a set of rules you follow for the auditor, but the way you do business naturally. We have covered the values, the accountability, the transparency, the fairness, the resilience, and the framework that holds it all together. You are now equipped with the foundational knowledge to understand why these systems exist and how they protect the future of innovation.